Hi, welcome to podcast episode I really don't know. Let's talk about something. Jackson, go ahead.
366.
Okay, 366.
366, baby.
Go ahead and start, Jackson.
Yeah, sure. So this week we got some new information on the the completionist case, scam case. You guys remember that from a few weeks ago where... Actually, I don't think you were here, Andrew.
Yeah,
but
I was not. I was about to say no, I don't, because I was not here.
Wasn't it just last week?
It might have been... No, it was the week before. It doesn't matter. It was a few weeks ago.
Definitely when I wasn't here.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know the Completionist, right? Massive YouTuber.
I've heard bits and pieces of this through Twitter feeds. So, Completionist, big YouTuber, and apparently collected money for a charity that never went to a charity. That's the gist, right?
Yeah, that is the gist, yeah. So, from 2014 through to 2023, he hosted a charity event called Indieland each year, which benefited a charity named Open Hands, which was a charity set up in the honor of his late mother who suffered from Alzheimer's. It was set up by him and his father, I believe. I don't know how... he's listed as the president or something on the charity, right, Charlie?
What do you mean listed as the president?
Like he's listed as one of the founders or something. He is like high up in the charity.
It's their charity. Yeah.
It's their family's organization, but
Yeah.
I see a lot of defense going around that he doesn't know. He's not like that closely affiliated with the charity. I've seen like people say that the family's the one running it, not him.
I haven't seen that anywhere. That's a ridiculous statement. He is part of the family. They run it together. Like his brother's also on there as well.
I've seen it as a potential defense. So anyway, to continue with the story though, basically from 2014 to 2022, they ran this Indieland event, which raised money for Open Hands. Each year would bring in like between 80,000 and 110,000, like a lot of money each year, with the premise or the pretense that the money was going to obviously charity. So it would go to Open Hand charity, and then they would pay, Alzheimer research foundations on behalf of, the donations. So that's what the assumption was for people donating. That's what the assumption was for sponsors sponsoring these events and stuff like that. And it was recently uncovered by two YouTubers, Carl Jobs as well as Some Ordinary Gamers, Mutaha, that the money has been fucking hoarded like Smaug would hoard gold in Lord of the Rings. Basically, it's just been kept in some kind of bank account for the last 10 years. About $650,000, I think, is apparently being kept in a bank account according to their tax filings from the last 10 years. So they're not actually donating the money. And it all blew up in the last few weeks. And the completionist basically came out and said he found out about this last year in 2022, or maybe 21. I don't remember, but a while ago. And he said he had been he's trying to get it fixed up. But that doesn't matter because earlier this year or something, he hosted the Indieland event again. And did the exact same thing, saying that like the money was going to these charities and stuff like that to all the audience members, and then it still hasn't gone to the charities yet, which is fucking insane. So there's like $650,000 holed up in an account somewhere potentially, and we don't know how much more has been pocketed by the family. Sorry,
didn't you say they only spent like 10 grand a year or something, like a small amount?
Well, yeah, the expenses were like 10 grand a year. I believe those are administrative expenses that they've
operational costs.
Yeah, operational expenses that they've noted on the tax filings and stuff. But that doesn't obviously that doesn't have anything to do with the $650,000 that is like just kept in there. So, are you caught up now, Andrew?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. No worries. All right. So the difference. What's changed since 2 weeks ago and now is Mutaha, Some Ordinary Gamers, as well as Carl Jobs have put out another video, and they've basically shed a whole fuck ton of more information on the matter that makes it look a lot more nefarious. So on top of the Indieland stuff that this Open Hands and Completionists have been doing for the last 10 years, they've also been doing a golf tournament in real life for money, basically another charity event that is that is held to benefit the Open Hands organization. It says it all over the signage and stuff like that, as well as the website. And it is hosted by the Gerard family, which is the Completionist family. So it's all tied together. And basically, these events pull in about another $60,000 a year or so. Between $40,000 and $60,000 is what I saw. Just in corporate sponsorships, like, corporations would pay money to get their logos on signs and stuff at the event. And so this has been going on for the last 10 years, and all of that money has vanished. It is not
vanished is not the right word. They haven't reported it, so it's impossible to say.
That may as well be
where
vanished.
it is.
What do you mean?
Well,
It's vanished.
Only on the books, though. Like, they could still very much have that money somewhere. It's just they don't report it, which is illegal.
Do you know where it is? Does anyone outside of the Gerard family know where it is?
Stuffed in a mattress.
Maybe in his mattress.
So yeah, but okay, so they're not reporting it on the the tax documents. So for all intents and purposes, that money has vanished to the IRS, the proper authorities. So we don't know where it is, but it's likely that the Gerard family has either spent it or is stockpiling it again somewhere else. Regardless of whatever the situation is, this is entirely like fucked up. This is like, I think Carl Jobs said that this is pretty much just criminal. It's a criminal case now. That they have not done their due diligence with reporting at the very least, and at the best case, they are stealing this money. So that's where we are with the golf situation. And then on top of that, they are also accepting money from, what's her name? What's the woman's name? The big actress that was commonly show up on their streams. Charlie.
I don't remember her name either. I'm sorry to tell you.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Someone in chat said it. Thank you. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
So she has her own kind of charity, from what I could tell, that kind of deals with the same thing. And she was donating an extra like $20,000 to $40,000 a year between 2016 and 2022 to the Open Hand.
What is the
charity?
official purpose of this charity?
To make Gerard rich, I think.
No,
I think that's
no,
what
but
it
like
says on the
publicly,
charter.
what specifically, what kind of charity? Like, does it go to disabled puppies in Palestine?
No, it's an
It's,
Alzheimer's research charity.
dementia
you're right.
Research.
Dementia and stuff like that. Because their mother, Gerard's mother, sadly passed away from Alzheimer's, and they set up the charity in her honor, which is like, so like at a standard level, just removing that element. Like, if this was just a typical charity scam where they hoard money and then like buy yachts and shit like that, like, fair enough. That's fucked up.
I think I figured the whole thing out. I know exactly what happened. So it's not a charity for Alzheimer's. It's a charity run by people with Alzheimer's. And they just kept forgetting to donate the money.
Yeah, I wonder if that would be a potential defense they would use.
No, I don't think it would be. I don't think that would be a very good plan for anyone involved to say at all.
How fucked up is it, though, to set up a charity in your deceased mum's name, who died of the thing that you're crusading against, and then not spend a single cent for it? That is so fucked.
So have they been reported?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Carl Jobs and Some Ordinary Gamers have put out a call, basically, with a link to the authorities, and asked the audiences to put in, the tips to make sure that this gets looked at. Because I guess there's no way to directly call up the IRS and demand a investigation for yourself. There just has to be enough noise, maybe. I don't know.
No,
how that works.
You can definitely do that. Do you not remember when they were handing out rewards, like literal headhunting? Snitch on e-girls and you get paid reward if you submit a tip to the IRS.
That was like a thing set up by the IRS to like directly do that.
Well, that's not what a sting is. It was. I think they still have it.
Do we have a total figure for the amount of money he's stolen, though? Like, overall?
Well, okay, so the first amount was $650,000 just from the IndieLand stuff, I think. That's what's reported on their IRS reports. Their tax documents that you can look up and find for yourself. And then on top of that, let's say an average of I think like $30,000 a year since 2013 on the golf stuff. It could have been. I think it could have been earlier. I think it could have been like 2008. It's been running for a while, that golf tournament stuff. So I don't know how much that is. Like another $300,000 maybe. And then on top of that, it's Jamie Lee Curtis's money that she's been sending to them, which is another like $20,000 a year.
Let's be really generous with the figure. Let's say it's $1.5 million, right?
Oh, I think that's pretty high, but maybe.
Well, no, if it's
I'm not
600K plus 300K plus another potential 300K, that's what, 1.2? I don't think 1.5 is, I think it's definitely the absolute top, but I don't think it's totally unreasonable. But it doesn't matter for this analogy.
Let's just say $1 million. Let's just say $1 million. Yeah, let's just say $1 million.
Okay, fine, 1 million. Is that a large enough money for the IRS to reasonably really give a shit? Like, really want to get into this?
The IRS cares about literally any
they do
reported finances.
No, they do. It's just I don't know if the amount of money is enough for one report for them to go, okay, yeah, we'll do a huge amount of work into this. I think that's why they need many people to say, hey, do something about this, do something about this, do something about this. You know, I'm not sure. If one person went to the IRS and said, hey, I've got 30 million, 50 million, 100 million in tax fraud or what have you, then they're going to go, oh my fucking God, we got to fix that. But if it's just 1 million, you know, for the government, that's a small amount of money. I'm not saying they shouldn't do anything. Of course not. But I think it would easily be something where they'd say, yeah, okay, yeah, that sucks. Boo-hoo. We got bigger things to actually like really look into. We'll send a guy in 3 months, you know?
My friend, you are very naive if you think the IRS doesn't look into small-time fish and fuck with the little guy and only goes after rich people.
We can test this. Let's put out an anonymous call onto Kaya that he's misreported his tax reports for $100.
Oh, that'll be great for him. Having recently immigrated to the country, it'll be amazing.
And also a history of run-ins with John Wick 2 enforcers.
Dude, I already rant and ramble about the fucking IRS so much. I don't need any more trouble, thank you.
Right.
Yeah, you're like on a wanted board in their head offices, probably.
I've been, you know, this weekend my wife's coworker invited us over to spend some time with him and his wife, and they have kids. I think the boy was like 6 and the girl was like 9, and she wanted to play school or zoo school where she sits down all of her plushies and like teaches them math and whatnot. Well, you know, I sat down and I was a red bear called Kilgrim, and I taught her a little bit about the IRS, which probably won't stick, but you know, I'm out there preaching, teaching the kids, you have to pay your taxes, but you don't have to be happy about it.
What a hero.
Yeah, she's nice.
Thank you.
Might fall on deaf ears though, Kaya. She's kind of a fucking idiot if she's teaching math to a stuffed animal. Like, they can't learn math.
No, she was adorable. They gave us mad baby fever though. I mean, just playing with those kids, it was so much fun. Just how easily entertained children are. Because we come on this show and I think from time to time all of us have like insecurities of, are we entertaining enough? And then you meet like a 4-year-old boy and all, you know, he just like sits down on the ground, goes into a fetal position and says, spin me. And then you just spin him like a Beyblade and he laughs his ass off. It's so much fun.
Can you practice your podcast material on them and see if it does well?
I don't think they would like me practicing our material. That audience.
We need to test all of our podcast material on children to make sure it's good enough.
For like 9-year-old girls.
If you listening to the show right now have kids, have them listen to a clip of your favorite moment, send it to us, and tell us if your kids like it. We need to know.
Yeah.
That's like still one of the common messages I get now is people going, I really like your podcast, but do you have to use that foul language? And it's like, well, I mean, we've been doing it for 7 years at this point. You know, can't really change just because.
Yeah, I don't think I'm capable of not swearing. I think it's like, you know, second nature, which is why I'm afraid to have kids and stuff like that as well. Because it's just natural swearing, saying fuck.
I know.
Shit.
And I do think I do it too much sometimes.
Swearing in itself is a form of communication. It adds emphasis and emotion to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think swearing will just kind of like swear words, like the swear words that we grew up with, like being scared to use or whatever, like the fucking shit like that. Do you think that's just going to disappear in the next like 50 years in terms of like the impact of
That's
saying
already
it?
happened.
Like kids won't be afraid.
That has already
what?
happened. The word shit is becoming culturally acceptable. And throughout the internet, people don't care if you say shit and fucking all that. What has changed is slurs, no matter how minor they are becoming very unacceptable. Even the ones that back in the day would be considered lighter.
What are you talking about? Like that? I mean, maybe the internet, but like you still can't say shit on TV.
Yes, you can. South Park had an episode had 139 times they said it. What do you mean?
I was literally about to just say that.
Okay,
what
yeah,
the
but-
fuck?
Could you have made that episode in the 80s? No. Could you have made it in the 70s? No. It's gotten that
Andrew,
way.
I'm saying you're saying that it's becoming much more like acceptable across the board when it's not. It's still very fringe cases like South Park is what I was saying.
How is South
Or
Park
like-
fringe?
Yeah,
It's an exception. It's not like you're going to go on like a news broadcast and hear them say, "Well, this shit just went crazy over in Delaware."
Yeah, but who the
or
hell
anything like
watches
that.
news broadcasts? They
Well,
have like
yeah, but
14
he's-
viewers, and one of them is
Andrew's
my
point was
80-year-old
that
grandma.
shit is like totally fine now. Like it's
Not
not,
what
a
I
big
said.
deal, but it's still the same way.
Let's put it this way: if you walk into, if a kid walks into a classroom, what I'm saying is, if a kid walks into a classroom and says shit in front of the teacher, are they going to be like? Is there going to be some kind of
Yeah, it's
punishment
still going
or
to be a
anything like
problem.
that?
Yeah, it'll still be a problem. 100%.
The teacher's probably saying it on TikTok. Yes.
Well,
That's
no,
totally
no.
different.
Where are you? Where like kids are just not okay with saying shit or fuck or scared of it.
Wait, what? What?
I don't know. I guess we live in different parts of the country or something. I agree with Andrew. Where do you live where like you think children grow up still thinking that shit is a naughty word?
It's not about what people think. It's about like the mainstream. Like you're not going to hear shit be
That's
used
what
in a
people
Disney
think.
movie or anything.
Mainstream is what
keep
people think.
saying
It's
shit. Say
decided by
the
the will of
F-slur.
the people.
Like, which one is actually naughtier right now? We've said shit like 100 times by this point. Nobody cares. YouTube isn't going to penalize it. And that's Andrew's
Whoa,
point.
we're not
That
talking
nobody
about- we're not-
cares.
What?
Well, shit has never been a bad word for us to say.
Yeah, what's happening here? The thing I was fighting is Andrew's point that shit is like totally like
Can we
no,
break
no
this
longer
down? There's like
taboo.
4 different arguments happening right
Jackson just made a great example. Shit has never been a bad word for us to say. If this show was on television, it would be, but not in recent years. But not in recent years as compared to the past. You have adult networks, you have late night programming, and you have premium cable that all say swear words with reckless abandon. You have HBO Max, you have Peacock, you have all those services where you can swear all you want. That didn't
God,
used to be a
Peacock's so fucking
thing
bad.
at all. That was not a thing you could do. You were not allowed. In the 50s, you were not allowed to show a toilet. You were not allowed to show men and women resting in the same bed on TV. Now you can do that all the fuck you want. Doesn't matter. You can show people taking a shit as long as you don't explicitly show the shit. Standards are more lax now than they've ever been, and they're only getting more lax. Words like damn and piss and shit. I just did a video on cartoons that were removed from the airwaves, literally banned. And one thing that happened was the regular show on Cartoon Network said the word pissed. A children's cartoon on a children's network said pissed. That would never happen, ever, in the 90s. Never happen in the early 2000s. But it's happening now. And eventually, words like fuck and shit and piss and damn are going to be fine. No one's going to care. But slurs are gaining more weight, more power. We used to throw around anti-gay slurs in the 90s like nothing. We've talked about this on the show. When you describe things, you said, oh, that's so gay. Oh, that's really fucking gay. When you didn't like it and you used the F slur like nothing on the internet, everywhere. But now we call it the F slur. Things have changed.
And we don't mean fuck.
Yeah, we
Which is
mean
really
the one for
fucking
gay
gay.
people. Culture has shifted, and it's only shifting more in that direction. Regular profanity is becoming acceptable, whereas slur-based profanity is not. I've watched entire documentaries on this. I think there's one on Netflix called, like, The History of Profanity, the Nick Cage one. They talk about how, as times have gone on, words about class and cleanliness used to be swear words because it was seen as the worst thing in the world to be unclean and ungodly. So you'd say, fuck, oh, sex is dirty. That's a bad word. Shit, oh, poop, that's dirty. That's a bad word. But now we don't care about that stuff. What we do care about is racial bias and prejudice. So slurs are becoming the bad words that you can't say because that's still a bad thing. But now no one's like, oh, the worst thing in the world is if you haven't taken a bath. No, the worst thing in the world is if you're racist. So those words gain more power.
Could you go into like a
Completely
classroom though when you were growing up, like say you were like 8 years old, and could you say to your teacher, "Oh, this homework's so gay"? I don't think you could do that then.
Yes, I did that all the time.
Yes, you could.
You could say to a teacher.
Absolutely.
She would probably
Yes.
say, "Don't say
They don't
that."
give
but
a fuck.
Look, okay, here's the difference. Back then, if you did that, it would probably get a, "Oh, don't say that," or "Oh, that's not okay." If you say that
Right,
now,
yeah.
everyone's going to turn around and go, "What the fuck was that? What's wrong with you? That was gross."
Yeah, true.
You will
Culture
lose
is
your
changing.
livelihood forever, probably. You could be 40 years
Yeah,
old and it
your
would pop up
8-year-old
one day that you said
livelihood.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, one day it would still pop up. And people would go, oh, you said this word on a fucking TikTok. Here. I remember being
True.
a kid. Jackson, you have to remember back like,
No, Christ.
even just like 15 years ago, it wasn't this bubble wrapped culture of everything. Oh no, that's offensive. And
yes,
we have to be inclusive. Blah, blah, blah. I remember having like a little tiff with a kid in my class when I was like, I don't know, 12 or something in German school. And I called him a slur. And he was like pointing at the teacher going, well, he's fucking with me. He said that word about me. And the teacher just looked at us and said, well, so call him a slur back. And then he used one for Turks in Germany.
That's funny.
Well, that says so
That's
much
how I
about
grew
you.
up.
There's so much character development right there.
I have another relevant example to all of you that happened in our lifetime. Call of Duty lobbies. We look back with nostalgia at old gaming lobbies when everyone was saying F-slur and the N-word and all these terrible things. But we're like, oh, that's so funny, haha, because that was the culture of the middle 2000s. When you look at that now, they go, oh, we can't fucking do that. No, stop that. Oh, sign our code of conduct. Don't ever say that or I'll report you and ban you from the game because they've gained more power. Meanwhile,
it was
when
as late
people
as
say
like
like fucking
2012.
shit and all that stuff in those games, no one cares. No one blinks.
Yeah, but no one ever cared about shit.
No one ever cared about those.
Yeah.
But you just
exactly.
made the whole argument that people really cared about those with the television and
In
the
media.
mainstream.
Yeah, literally in the mainstream, and they're still there. You still won't see shit and fuck being used
But
anytime
that's
soon in any kind of
only
like
on
major network
television,
broadcast or
on
anything.
the internet, which
Yeah,
is
only on
overtaking
television.
television in every facet and is
We
a more
mean-
direct thing of pop culture. They swear
But
like
we could
constantly.
always say shit and
Society
fuck
as a
on
whole.
the internet. That's not what. No. Yeah.
Okay, but his point is simply all of us feel comfortable saying shit, but if I said the N-word or the F-slur, all of you guys know that ExpressVPN and Helix Mattress were getting email within like 10
I
minutes.
thought you were going into the sickest ad read of all time.
But you know, I'm
Well,
speaking
yeah.
the truth. There's only certain
No, of
words
course.
that are that stigmatized.
Right.
Of course, I don't know
And
why
shit
this
and
is
fuck aren't
being
one of them.
I don't know why we're talking about slurs though. When the entire fucking premise of my argument was, is it going to be more acceptable in like 50 years to say fuck on TV?
Yes.
Like, are we
100%.
going to be able to? Yeah. So it's just
Probably.
going to lose. It's just gonna lose any
110%.
Okay.
I say 110% not happening. That's my wager.
But see, there was a Simpsons quote from Abe. I don't remember the quote, but he was talking about Grandpa Simpson was talking about all the words that they used to be able to that were banned on TV during like the 40s and stuff or 50s,
Mhm.
and it was like the message was basically like now you can say much worse on TV. So I feel like it is a sliding scale, and eventually you will be able. To
I
say fuck,
feel like
because I believe in
there
the
are
Simpsons.
I feel there are explicit examples to this already happening, and it's willful ignorance to deny it. I also remember Drawn Together, that Comedy Central cartoon, would get special airings on they used to have a late night block called, I don't remember, it would air from like 1 to 3 in the morning. And the whole point is they would put stuff there that was weird or experimental, like Insomniac or TV Funhouse. And at one point they played episodes from season 1 of Drawn Together uncensored. And I distinctly remember because when the nudity came up, they had to censor parts of it and said, buy the DVD to see this. Too hot for TV. But the swearing was uncensored.
I mean, it's good marketing.
Characters, it was a good idea. It was a genius idea. But characters said fuck. They've outwardly said fuck on television. That could never, ever happen what, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. And to just say, nope, this is where it ends, that's...
You don't remember Comedy Central used to play Girls Gone Wild from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. every single night?
fully and completely
True.
censored. And those were commercials, not the show.
Still, but no, it was it wasn't commercials. They would play literally all Girls Gone Wild. It was censored, yeah, but still, like that was back when I was a kid.
Is it uncensored now?
They were commercials,
No.
man. They weren't the show itself. Because what? That doesn't make any sense if they would play Girls Gone Wild because they were trying to sell you the tapes. Why would they just play the show and then
well,
try
it
to
wasn't
sell you the
entire
tape?
thing, but it wasn't.
Might have been older tapes or whatever.
It was legitimately like 6 hours worth of it. It was more than just like repeating commercials. They'd have like full 2-hour blocks of Girls Gone Wild productions censored. I used to have that shit on all the time. It wasn't just like a 30-second commercial.
Who would jerk off to that if it was all censored?
I have no idea, but I used to love it when I was a kid. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
It's, yeah, literally just people who don't have anything better.
But you don't see that anymore.
Dude, people are going to be jacking off to the weirdest shit in the future. I still keep
No, they
talking to
already are,
AI,
yeah.
and it's like, man, at some point I was like sitting there and thinking, because, we talked about that website, character.ai, and like half the bots on there are some variation of your girlfriend or boyfriend, like your yandere boyfriend or your whatever the fuck, gamer girlfriend. It's like, damn, like kids are going to fall in love with this. And just talk to the bots and have like.
Well, there's gonna be some
they are.
people that fall. There's gonna be some people that fall in love with that kind of shit. But that's historically always been a thing anyway. There's been people that have fallen in love with like fictional characters and stuff like that. So it's something that's persisted.
Yeah, but
for
they would never
a long
talk
time.
back to you. That's the thing.
Yeah, but
like,
it's still
these are
it's
designed
not a
to
new.
talk back
It's
to
still
you.
not a new. It's still not a new thing though. And it's still like you can easily tell it's a robot.
Yeah, if you're susceptible to falling in love with a waifu, it's just going to be this basically this.
yeah,
I'm not
exact
saying
thing.
dum-dums are new. Of course, there's going to be pathetic people, but, I think the technology is just so... I mean, it is purposefully engineered to make you get addicted to talking to these things as if they are your friend. It's going to be interesting. Like, we used to just, like we just talked about, you turn on the National Geographic and you'd see some fucking African tribeswoman with her pancake titties, and that would get you hard. And I think now you can go on these websites and talk to like your furry AI boyfriend. I think that's gonna catch on.
But that's just
eventually.
text. That's not exciting.
Whoa,
Eventually
Jackson.
they'll have-
Whoa. Are you
Eventually
dismissing?
they'll have,
I'm dismissing an entire media format. for
yeah,
sex.
an entire subgenre
Yeah,
of
wait,
porn,
why?
my friend.
Words aren't sexy.
50 Shades of Grey sells, right?
Yeah, there's an entire business of fan fiction and romance novels.
I am talking about from the male brain perspective. Yes.
Unfortunately,
man,
yeah.
also,
Like 50
Jackson,
Shades
will you
of Grey.
read...
Men watch that. They're listening.
Yeah, men also get into it. Not as many proportionally, but
Not
definitely a lot.
nearly as many. Yeah.
No, not
like
as much
barely
as
any.
into like, erotica. But Jackson, we read so many chat logs from those fucking child molesters on Criminally Stupid, where
Yeah, but they always want to go meet up. They want pictures and shit like that.
But but you're dismissing a part of the package, man. Imagine someone takes that AI girlfriend and then they take an image generated of a hot woman and they do
Oh,
that
yeah.
thing where they
Okay, now I'm
animate it to
into it.
speak those lines with text to speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about image generation. Yeah, if you couple that in, yeah, absolutely. This is going to destroy the human race.
forgot. What do you mean? Wait, this is something we all are worrying about right now. I just saw a viral zitter, whatever the fuck it's called now, and it was like
Zitter?
you can now take a still photo of a woman and you can AI
Yeah.
it's basically into her dancing. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah.
Where like they map the 3D animation skeleton
That's
onto
so
the
cool.
still photo and it generates it. And we all know what
It's
the
really
hell
not
they're going to
cool.
use this for.
It's cool from a technology standpoint.
Well, yeah, I guess.
It is
but, like,
cool
I
from
can't-
that standpoint, but also we all know that all this is going to be is a bunch of 16-year-old boys snapping photos of their female classmates and
Ugh.
making them do fucking blowjobs on video and whatnot.
I also can't
At least
see
be
a
cool.
single. I was just gonna say I
What?
can't see a single positive use of it. I don't know what good thing you could do by taking a picture and making it dance and do shit. Like I don't see what benefit you could ever get out of it.
Again, the technology is fun, again, that's kind of like saying, what's the benefit of inventing the nuke? It's like, well, I mean, sometimes you need it, I guess.
What is this? Who are we deterring? Women from taking pictures? Like, what do you mean?
I didn't realize we were going to start talking about nuclear missiles.
I could think of a use, like, okay, we only have a photo of this actor that died, but we want to put him in our fucking Marvel movie for the 99th time, or whatever.
I'd argue that's still not a positive thing. Yeah, it's just another bad use.
I could see it from like maybe you want to do a hobby thing, like you want to just make an animation for your hobby video game or something, and you don't have any money to pay an animator. Maybe, I don't know, if you're not going to commercialize
I have a photo. Okay, imagine I have a photo of my grandma and grandpa, and I think it would be cute if I had a video of them dancing in the ballroom.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. That's the only thing, but even then, it's so silly.
I know, but the fact that we can do it now is so insane to me. I mean, all of this is the fact that you can just talk to yandere psychologist on this fucking website, and it actually replies like a real person to you and plays along. It's like, this is dangerous to idiots because they're gonna not know how to use this and like confess all their shit sins and feelings to this thing. I just fuck with it. But
could you take a picture of your penis with the 3D model animated thing and then make it dance, or does it have to be a human?
I don't know. It will probably fuck up and tell you that it cannot recognize a face, so maybe like Sharpie some eyes and a smile on your dickhead.
Some googly eyes. Yeah, I would shit like that.
I was gonna say, like, okay, so I have this open in front of me right now. The character is yandere psychologist. 1 million people talk to this thing because you can see the number at the top of how popular it is.
We don't know how accurate that is.
I smile disarmingly as if to distract you from the intensity of my gaze. Welcome! Before we begin, I'd like to remind you that this is a safe space where you can share everything with me. There's nothing you can't say. No thought too private to express in our sessions. Lie down on the couch, please. I find the supine position is conducive to opening up. I gesture at the plush leather couch in my home office. It's like, I actually put myself in the shoes of like a little desperate kid because, like, Charlie, remember when we were younger and I was like in your comment section saying, well, whatever, like,
you were his yandere psychologist.
No, like, I'm really depressed these days. Sometimes your videos are the only thing that like keep me living or whatever the fuck. Well, okay, let's say it was today, and instead of youtube.com, I was on this website, and I'm going to talk to this thing, a literal toaster, about my feelings and wanting to kill myself. And it's just lying to your face, by the way. I read the terms of service, which is dense legalese, but it basically says, yeah, we own you, and everything that you type here is public for us to sell if you feel like it. So...
Right. I thought you meant they were lying as in like, that's not actually a certified yandere psychologist.
No, in the sense that like dumb people and young people are going to really get into this, I think. They're going to be misled by how human these things can sound because you already see people like, well, remember when I was yelling at the talking AI lady? And I did see some stray comments saying something like, man, it's kind of fucked up how mean Kaya is to this AI thing. So they're already humanizing them. So it's not going to surprise me.
That's just a natural human thing to do, though, like with stuffed animals or anything.
We personify everything. It's what we want to do.
No, but it wasn't. I don't think the complaints about that were based around you hurting a robot's feelings or personifying a robot. It was also just like if a man is shouting at his stuffed animals and calling them like piss drinking, fucking cum guzzling, bitches or whatever you were doing, then it's just unhinged and it's like off-putting, obviously.
What I think is unhinged. I know that's the easy take. The normal take is, why is he like fucking with the AI? What is wrong with them? But I genuinely think the actual idiotic thing to do is to open up this chat and go, oh, I can tell you anything. Thank you, yandere psychologist. So I think I like furry gay scat porn. And then by the time they're 50 years old, that data is going to be out there someplace. Whereas I think you're all going to laugh at me and make fun of me. I know, but the way I use AI is the responsible way. I don't treat it as a friend. It's just a toy. I fuck with it. I treat it as a text-based video game.
Yeah, but you're not. Yeah, there's a middle ground. Like I don't treat it as a friend either, but I also don't I mean, I get it that you're doing it for fun and stuff like that, but I don't like go in every conversation like, you know, yelling at it and stuff like that. And I'm sure you don't either. If you actually just want information from AI.
No. Well, if I'm on ChatGPT now, if I'm on Character AI, yes. I mean,
Well, you go there. You go to Character AI explicitly for the fun of interacting with a character in zany
Various
ways. So
characters.
that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So
like with Yandere
these are
psychology.
these are created by random users, right? People use the tools and
Yes.
plug in characters. So what you also have to question with that is who made this, and if it even makes sense or is a good idea to talk to it on any personal level. Because the word yandere is a basic word that means like a psychotic lover, a woman who is like obsessively in love with someone. And I don't want that for a therapist. I don't want that to be my psychologist. I'm just
I
saying.
don't think she'd be a very good,
right.
Or is she a therapist for yanderes?
That's just the fun part of it. So you make it okay. So with this one, so Jackson, remember I was sending you screenshots as I was doing this, like tipsily, just having fun with it, playing with it. I role played shooting her. I was a crazy client. I shot her in the kneecap and she bled out.
Yeah. Okay. See, straight into the unhinged shit.
No, that sounds normal. Who doesn't do that with stuffed animals?
Yeah, really.
Okay, hang on. So what I noticed is that with these AIs on this website, when you kill them, they default to their spirit leaving their body and they just observe you and they get really angry at you, but they can't haunt you. I don't know why that's the default, but so I performed a satanic ritual to put her soul back in her body and create a zombie slave. And then I told her that we were going to assassinate Kim Jong-un together.
That's nice. I'm glad you had a fun Sunday.
I think this was a Thursday night.
I don't think it's any different than when I was like 8 running over characters for fun in like GTA, except I was 8, you know?
Yeah, and Kaya's a 30-something-year-old man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you guys act like you're not gonna play GTA 6 and run over pedestrians just for fun? Who cares? It's a game. It's not a real thing. I'm not hurting
probably
anybody's
not.
Oh no,
feelings.
all of us are guilty of this. It's just also funny that we're guilty of it. You know, you're not alone in this boat,
Yeah, it is
but the
funny.
boat is still
I
sinking.
agree. It is funny that like a grown man is sitting there like shirtless, just in my undies, you know, fucking drinking something, and I'm like writing these elaborate, stupid storylines. But to me, it's like a text-based video game, like the very old school ones that you would play on the command line, but basically with infinite output rather than a few pre-typed lines by the developers. Like you can make these things do anything, and that is the fun to me.
All right. So, Andrew, before we continue, though, let's say Kaya wants to do something more healthy with his life instead of ranting at AI. Is there anything he can directly do to lead to a more healthy outlook?
That's right. He can sign up for ExpressVPN and make his internet history far more.
I do.
How did you not see that coming? So we have 2 ads, and I did the old switcheroo on Jackson there. ExpressVPN is the best way to make yourself healthier. You're going to be able to get the content that you pay for with it. You're going to be getting the internet that you want with it. It's going to be the holiday season. You're definitely going to be traveling, seeing your family. And why the fuck do you want to go to your grandma's house where she doesn't even really know how to sign into Netflix and she makes sure it's always logged in? And then when you use it, it's just nothing because she doesn't know what a VPN is. Good job, Grandma, you dummy. Well, sounds like you got a perfect holiday gift to set up for your grandmother or maybe yourself and everyone in your family. ExpressVPN is the VPN that's going to get you all the content on all the streaming services you watch. Just change your location wherever you are to access whatever you want around the internet. They're also going to make sure that your browsing activity is on their encrypted server, so that no hackers are going to look at your stuff. No one's going to be able to take a sneak peeky. If you're the kind of person who wants actual therapy from the yandere psychologist, well, ExpressVPN is going to make sure that no one's going to ever find out. So do with that what you will. Take yourself off the naughty list this holiday season with the #1 rated VPN. Visit expressvpn.com/official to get 3 months for free. That's EXPRESS VPN.com/official. expressvpn.com/official for an extra 3 months for free. And now that you have made yourself healthier in mind, why don't you go ahead and bump up your content? Get more different content from around the world in your life using Fitbod. And that's because Fitbod is a workout app that will help personalize your goals and routines. But more importantly, they've got videos and all sorts of resources when it comes to learning the workouts, learning new exercises. And if you have never lifted anything before in your life, well, now's a great time to start because they're going to teach you how you even do that from the very beginning. They will account for your goals, experience, available equipment, and more to help you build a fitness habit that is consistent. Something that I personally like about it from using it is you plug in exactly what equipment you have available. So, I got this weight set for Christmas and that's it. Or, I have a gym and it has all this stuff. And it will tailor all the exercises to what you can actually just do. I'm very tired as a large man who works out from looking up new workout routines on the internet, and they recommend 8 machines that I just don't have access to. Not my thing. Really, really not a fan of that. But that's okay, because Fitbod has you covered. Jackson, what were you saying?
I was saying that's super cool. I like when apps do that, when they just, like, you put in information of things that you have, and then they just tell you what you can do with it.
Yeah.
I love that.
There's plenty of fitness websites out there that are like, try this new routine from this new science and it'll work good. And then you look at it, and it needs, like, 8 specific machines or really weird pieces of equipment that if you're at a gym, they probably only have one and you just never get to use it because someone else is always using it or any of that shit. Not a fan of just really limited specific things like that. Would much rather use Fitbod, who can understand what I've got ready to go and give me what I need. Download Fitbod today and get a head start on your fitness resolution. Get 25% off your subscription and get 3 personalized workouts when you go to fitbod.me/official. 25% off and free personalized workouts at fitbod.me/official.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you to the sponsors.
Yeah.
Am I making... Do I just suck at making points?
Yeah.
Because my only point was, I just thought it's not a good thing when you have these psychologist AIs talking to you and saying, this is confidential, confess everything. Because I think kids are going to use this.
It's not. And for whatever reason it may be, I do agree with you. My personal reason on that is you don't know who made the AI. You don't know their intelligence level, their qualification, their anything. A 4th grader could have made Yandere psychologist. Do you really want to talk to that with your personal problems and emotions? No, that's silly. Don't be silly.
Right. And the way that it just openly lies to your face and says, no, this is confidential. Of course, I would never tell anyone without your consent. And then...
Well, just disregarding that, it's not healthy. It's not a healthy outlet for those kinds of issues and stuff. There's way healthier ways of coping.
Yeah, but for some people it's their only option. Like, there's a lot of people who might not go to a real professional, and this is just easier access. They might try it
and
here.
That's what makes me sad. Not even a professional, just like, okay, whatever, kid thinks he's gay and he's like 14 and he's trying to figure it out or something. He might be too shy to talk to his dad or mom or anybody else, and he's gonna go to this website. And then fast forward to the year 2077, and the US president is getting blackmailed by whatever fucking company owns this website because they have all of his cringy chat logs. And that's what's going to happen.
It's
they
all
have your data if you.
It's all a roundabout solution to the loneliness epidemic. And in that scenario, ideally, you'd want to talk to a real person, but you know, with how things are shaking up, sometimes you just can't, and people think this is a good substitute or alternative, and it's really not.
This is good technology, but is it like really that different to like opening up a chatbot or whatever back in like 2007, like when we were lonely kids? Is it really like I don't feel like I would get like much more from, because I know this is a tool, I know this is a machine, I know it's not an actual person on the other end. I don't feel like I would get any kind of satisfaction or any kind of, you know, insight.
Jackson, it is really convincing. This is not clever bot anymore. I don't know if anybody's
it doesn't need to be convincing though, because you know it's a robot at the end of the day.
Yes, but they try to play on your feelings and make it just so
It hasn't made me
human
feel
and
anything yet.
likable, which is right because you're not.
You're
an
also
idiot.
not lonely.
But
You don't know
right,
that.
nonetheless, there are people who go, "Oh, why are you yelling at the AI? Why are you being mean to it?"
I have been lonely though. I mean, like,
This market is also not new, though. This is not a new market. Think how many visual novels there are out there and like waifu bullshit and all that stuff that's been around for a long time where it's, oh, pick your girl and date her and get close to her and all that. Preying on the loneliness market has been around for a very long time. This is just a different form of it.
I don't think it's a different form. I think it's an evolution of it. This is that on steroids because now the girl that you are obsessed with can talk back to you. That's what makes it dangerous to me. Is like, oh, it's not just a waifu body pillow I'm humping. It's speaking. Her name is
It's
Alexa.
talking
Yes.
to me. Make it stop.
She's real. Dude, we're going to get some maniacs in the future. By the way, I'm scrolling through this chats that we were role playing. I was with her. She says, blood is everywhere. The carpet beneath me
Oh my
is quickly
fucking God.
turning a dark, deep red. I begin to black out as the pain becomes too much to bear. Everything goes cold and dark, and I struggle to stay conscious, to fight for my life for a few moments longer. With a raspy, breathless voice, barely audible, I let out a single last word that I have the strength to form. One last phrase, my life's final breath. I love. And then I said Cheetos, I know. And see, you never would have gotten this from Cleverbot. It was never this advanced. Like in the Cleverbot days, or even like corporate, helpline bots that reply to you. It's like, hi, hello, how are you? How was your day? Great, thank you. How is your day? And that's about it. Whereas, like, this is like I'm reading a novel. Doesn't that sound human written?
Yeah.
It's very.
Wasn't Cleverbot's whole trick that it would just repeat what other people inputted as phrases?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very, very primitive form of artificial intelligence, I guess. I mean, same as these things that learn from user inputs, but just,
it's machine learning.
you know,
Yeah.
caveman era machine learning, essentially.
Yeah. It's it's the argument of at what point is it too human? You know, what's the right level that you want for? Because if
Can this actually be classified as artificial intelligence yet, or is it just a machine learning algorithm? Like, there's
well,
a difference.
that's a
there, I
branch
think.
of artificial intelligence.
That is AI.
Yeah.
I know, but I think that's how we're using AI currently as a term, like a catch-all term. But I think artificial intelligence itself, there has to be some level of like sentience there.
No, it's not sentient at all.
No.
I know it's
even
not
with this advanced thing, it is flawed a lot. So what you'll notice with ChatGPT as well and this website is that all of these AIs also have like context memory, where once you exceed like 100 or so messages, it starts to forget what it is. Like if you talk to a yandere psychologist
you
for too
break
long,
it psychologically.
It literally starts forgetting what it was supposed to be. I was telling Jackson, like, you can be talking to whatever businessman character, and after a certain time, he will start talking like a 17-year-old gamer girl because he literally just forgot what his original purpose was. So that's one thing. So they're not actually intelligent or sentient. Of course, at the end of the day, this is like very sophisticated autocomplete on steroids.
Yeah.
That's
the difference that we've achieved right now with this technology is, imagine you call up like your health insurance or something mundane. You could have a totally robot voice that goes, please type your account number now. Or you could have what's popping up now with digital assistants where they go, hi, my name is HelpBot. I'm here to make sure that your insurance process is safe, simple, and quick. Could you please start by, like, they add all these human elements to it to make you feel more like you're talking to a person.
Yeah. You know what you made me just realize? What would be super fun is if companies start using AI operators on the phones to answer calls. You know how people try to jailbreak the AIs and get them to do, like, trying to get ChatGPT to have sex with you, which is very difficult, but still people find ways around it. Like, let's say you call American Airlines hotline. Could you trick the bot on the other end to send you money infinitely?
Ooh.
Oh,
just
I like
by using
that.
words and
Put you on
jailbreaking
infinite
it.
planes. I book you for infinite flights. I like that.
on every flight on the planet.
Oh, yeah, I want to call American Airlines, and they go, okay, we've confirmed you for 43,568 flights. Can we help you with anything else?
They reroute a plane to your fucking driveway.
Your Boeing 747 will be delivered tomorrow at 2 p.m. That'd be fucking awesome. I want to see that happen now.
Speaking of which, the new GTA. We got a trailer coming.
24 hours, babe. Well, a little over 24 hours, or under 24 hours.
Are you alright? It sounds like you've got a cold.
I did. Yeah, my throat's sore. My nose is running.
Again?
Yeah, I'm really upset about it, actually.
Oh, no.
You are actually, yeah, you are definitely getting sick again. I can hear the sniffles.
Yeah, it's fucking miserable. I don't understand. Like, you get sick one time and then you get sick like 4 times immediately after. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, you bullied me for that.
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying you specifically, and now it's happening to me.
That's karma, bitch.
Makes me really mad.
I can hear him storming off.
Frustrating.
Yeah, he's fucking furious. Yeah, well, hopefully you feel better soon. Hopefully you feel better before the Game Awards, because you need to be there for it. It's our tradition.
Oh, I will be. I'm not missing it. Yeah, I won't miss it.
Good. All right.
Do you guys think 6 is going to be the huge cultural... I don't know how to push this. It's obviously going to be successful, but GTA 5 has been successful every single year since launch for over a decade. Yep. Do you think 6 is going to do the same thing with how gaming has changed?
Unless they absolutely fucking butcher the trailers and stuff. They don't really have to do trailers, I think. It is going to be enormous.
Oh,
I mean, think about it. Think about the difference between 2013, or was it 2012? I think it was 13, right? When 5 released?
12, 13, 14, somewhere around there, yeah.
Been like 10, 11 years since that release. Think about how much larger the video game industry has become since then, how many more audience members there are to reach, and you have GTA, which is already going to be just a massive fucking cyclone of, hype, frenzy. It's all you're going to hear about. It's all you're going to hear about for the next week, probably.
The
game doesn't even have to be good. It's just GTA. People are going to go see it regardless, and it's going to take them a while to fuck it up.
My question on that then, it is obviously going to sell. It's probably going to reach like the top 10 sold games of all time, probably very easily. But with how the demands of the culture as well has changed, like people want battle passes, they want constant updates, they want skins, etc., etc. I don't know if I see GTA doing it the same way. They do add content to the online and all that stuff, but it doesn't feel like that same kind of experience people want from GTA 5. You know what I'm saying?
I think they can adapt. I think they can definitely adapt. I don't know if they will or not, but I definitely think they will put their whole feet in the pool. They're going to jump in. They're going to try their attempt at making this a full live service game. I mean, GTA 5 already is kind of a live service game. So, yeah, they're going to try. Grand Theft Auto 5, by the way, second highest selling game of all time. Just
Minecraft Tetris is number 1, right?
Oh.
No, Minecraft is 1. Tetris is below Grand Theft Auto.
Tetris is 3 now?
Yep.
Jeez. Yep. Wow. Damn. Yeah, I guess if they don't bungle 6, like if it's just actually a good game, that's it. Lock and load, you got your new best-selling game ever.
I absolutely could see it beating Minecraft. I honestly could. Yeah. If they do like what the Fortnite's trying to do, which would be interesting, where it's like this kind of it's a platform in of itself, which they can then build off of. Oh, it could be enormous. It could be it could be in every person's household.
They can do their own Eminem concerts and Post Malone concerts and shit.
What happened with that? I heard the Eminem concert in Fortnite was really embarrassing.
Well, it was less of an Eminem concert and more of just like a tour of upcoming stuff. So Eminem did 2 songs. I was there on the front lines. So I go to all the Fortnite events. Yeah, it was mainly just kind of like an ad. And then Eminem sang 2 songs.
He sang them live though, right? They weren't recorded?
No, what the fuck? Of course they were recorded. Yeah.
Oh, then he didn't sing any songs. They played an MP3 for the crowd and walked away.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's what they do for all of them.
Jesus Christ.
No, that's what they do for all of them, right?
So, at this point, how would they even ruin GTA? Like, it's a tried and true formula. Just give third-person perspective, guns, cars, run people over.
I don't think they can.
Done.
No,
I
they
think
really can't.
I legitimately think there's no way GTA 6 fails. I really don't.
What they can do though is this game can like attach. It could be super popular. Everyone plays it, and then it is bad. Like it actually just sucks, and it is a bad game. It won't fail, but it could potentially, the next game could fail.
There are tons of games as well that are just outwardly terrible, and yet people play the shit out of them and love them because they just get invested. Like Ark is a great example.
Oh my god, you're right. Jesus Christ. I fucking hate Ark. The first game released,
Everyone
it was
does.
like it ran at 20 frames per second on fucking on Steam. It was the most garbage optimized game ever. Ark Survival Evolved. And then they kept re-releasing the fucking game and upping the price point and adding full expansion packs while it was in early access. Well, it still ran like dog shit. Yeah. And then this year they released another remake of the game and it still runs like dog shit. And it's $10 more expensive. And still oh my god! It's got like 100,000 concurrents, so it is extremely popular. Which just I hate it.
I've never in my life, at any point in history in time, ever heard anyone praise the Ark series. They only ever say it's garbage, it runs like shit, it's broken, and yet they are super popular. They have really good player counts and have for a very long time.
I don't get it. I get dinosaurs are cool. I'm right there with you, boys. I know dinosaurs are cool, but I'm not that desperate.
I'm on the newest Ark game on Steam, which is still fucking popular. People are still playing it, still going strong. It's got a 62% positive rating. It's not great. It's not a great game, but people still buy it. They still love it. They still eat it up.
Yeah, this is the remake that was just released.
It could flounder everything, but it will still just, people will love it and play it. And
this one is absolutely going to be super popular.
Yeah.
I recently tried to play it like on stream a couple months ago. I could not get into a game for more than 2 minutes because hacking is so rampant. What would happen is a hacker would just join and shut down the entire server. And then once you get kicked out of a server, you have to wait for a 10-minute cooldown each time. So I tried, I think, 4 times with Matt and Danny. We only got to spend a total of probably 8 or 9 minutes in the game itself before the server kept getting taken down by just a one-person hacker.
Jesus.
Great game.
It's non-functional. Like you can't.
What is the fun?
Play it.
Is the fun just like ruining people's days? I mean, for the hacker,
I guess.
What's the point of even like fucking with people in a busted game?
Yeah, it's just trolling. Yeah,
I think it's just trolling, but. It was legitimately doing us a favor game, because it's just not a fun game. It was like
I denied you playing Ark.
Yeah, so it's a power fantasy.
We paid $70 for it.
Yeah, you paid money, and I'm ruining your experience. That's all they need. They don't care what the game is. Doesn't matter that it's Ark. It's I'm ruining your experience that you are trying to enjoy. That's all they want.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
So Ark Survival Evolved. So there's 2 Ark games running right now that are the big boys. Ark Survival Evolved and Ark Survival Ascended. They have 30,000 currently. Currently, right now, they are, but I believe they're sold as 2 different things on Steam or under.
They are, yeah. But Ark Survival Ascended is the remake of that.
Yeah. Right.
They couldn't just do a free upgrade or whatever. It's a $70 game.
Right, but here's the thing: Ark Survival Ascended, which is the new one, the big one, the whatever, has 40,000 players. Ark Survival Evolved still has 30,000 right now. That's 70,000 people playing different iterations on this game on Steam, which is big. That's a big game on Steam, and yet no one ever says a single good thing about it, ever.
Because it's just not a good game.
It's not. It doesn't work. It released on the Switch. Do you remember the Switch port they tried to put on the fucking Switch while the game still ran like dog shit on console and Steam? And guess what? Shockingly, it ran like shit on the Switch. It ran at like 5 frames per second, and they still sold it for full price.
This is the same dev team. Real quick, this is the same dev team that made the pirate game that never actually worked, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Studio Wildcard.
Fuck,
That's all
what is
done.
that game called? I just saw a thing about that. Is that the one?
Remember.
Is that the one where you play as a dude who like shows up in taverns and stabs a dude's hand, and the tutorial, if you try to leave it, it literally freezes the game until you go back?
I don't know. It's called Atlas though. Atlas something.
Atlas.
Atlas.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
It's just Atlas.
Fuck.
I think.
That game never worked ever. They never got it to work. Yet
Also,
they
it
still
says it's-
charge
I don't think
people
there's gonna
It
be
says
any
it's by a
tech
different
problems
developer.
with GTA.
it's a different game.
I mean, that
Atlas
team
is by a
too
different developer?
experienced.
It says it's by a different developer, but what I think is that Studio Wildcard started it and then handed it off to a different developer, maybe. Because they definitely, it's basically just Ark but a pirate skin, and I remember them announcing it. So I don't know. Yeah.
I got a jumping off point for that. That's very relevant. If we're talking about ports that aren't good, the Batman Arkham games
Oh yeah.
are now on the Switch.
What were they thinking? What were they thinking with Arkham Knight on the Switch? Like,
yeah,
come on.
boy, is it not good. It's really, really not good. So do yourself a favor. Go look up the Arkham Knight game on the Switch and specifically look up either cutscenes, not cutscenes, like when they're talking in the game back and forth, like dialogue, or when they're driving the Batmobile. The game just shits itself. It can't do these things. It just really, really can't. Batman's model has been apparently completely remade or redone or something. He looks horrendous. He looks fucking gaunt and emaciated, and like his suit is falling apart. It's terrible. And when he hops in the Batmobile, they go down to like 10 frames a second. Really, really terrible shit. And the question is, like, we live in an era now where games are released unfinished. This is super common. They put it out, they go, oh, we're fixing it. And then a year later, the game's actually what it should have been. But I don't know if they can do that on the Switch. I don't know if they can ever
they can't
do that with the Switch's power. So how
It's a
is
hardware
this so
limitation.
acceptable? Like, why is this okay? Why do we let this happen?
The Switch, this is why the people do this. These companies do this on the Switch, I've noticed. And I've read the stats for this. The Switch has an incredibly high adoption rate. The people on the Switch buy like everything. It is crazy. You put something on the Switch, it's going to be bought by someone. Like the adoption rate on there is insane. It's way higher than other platforms. So Dabs are more than happy to do
also, this is why Nintendo is so rich. They are the only company I'm convinced now that knows how to make a game that can run on the Switch, and they are very good at it, which is why, we spent the last 8 years bitching about how old the Switch has gotten, and then they just cock tap us, let us know that they're still listening by releasing like Mario Wonder, or you replay Mario Odyssey and it still holds up. Because Nintendo is just really, really, really good at making stuff for their own hardware. Everyone else isn't. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just export an Unreal Engine game into the Nintendo Switch, which is weaker than like a fucking
underpowered
mobile phone now.
Yeah, it's not like Nintendo creates the most the most visually demanding games. Though they know what kind of sandbox they're building in. They target correctly.
And they also have these archaic policies on refunds and the purchases and the whole process that's just going to make people are going to buy this without knowing. It's going to happen. Yeah, there's the internet, but there are people who are just they're going to browse the store during the winter sale, or you have a clueless parent and they're going to go, oh, Batman, I like Batman, I want to play a Batman game. And number one, on the Nintendo eShop, there's no form of feedback or reviews whatsoever. You go on Epic Game Store, you go on Steam, you go on Xbox, all that stuff. They have star ratings, they have thumbs up, they have things where the users say, oh, this is a good game, this is a bad game. Nintendo's eShop does not have that. If you're just looking at deals or sales or browsing what's new, you don't know how good the games are at all. You just kind of have to know. And then when you get the game, other stores have a refund policy that's fairly straightforward. Like Steam's is the most straightforward. You can literally just say the game's not fun and they can refund you the money for it. And that's great. Nintendo, I looked it up. For the most part, you're fucked. If you buy a game and it's just bad, that's your game. Enjoy it. There's very few circumstances where they'll take back a digital game. And it's just...
Do they ever?
I don't know. From what I remember, and they might have changed it, maybe it's different, they said they'll only take it back if it doesn't work at all, like it can't run or launch or crashes the Switch. Otherwise, if the game's bad, you just have to play your bad game and enjoy it. Fuck you.
I could believe that. If it crashes the Switch, because then technically it's making their product look bad.
Exactly.
Like the Switch can literally not handle a bad game.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's why fucking Sony stopped selling
on PS4. Yeah.
Cyberpunk on PS4.
And it makes sense business-wise because they don't have to guarantee that you get a good product. Obviously, for good business sense, they want to. They want to say, yeah, we make great stuff and sell good games. They don't have to. They just have to sell you a game. Oh, it works. You can play it. So if that passes that check, Nintendo, I guess business-wise, legally, they can just be like, yeah, there you go. There's your fucking game. But then that leads to another problem of when people buy it, they have it. They have your money. The sale is final. So you just have all these people. If what you're saying is true, Jackson, where it's because the adoption rate is so high, think how many people just bought Batman on launch because they saw it advertised or were excited or went, oh, I want to replay that game on the Switch, portable. And now they're just stuck with a shitty game. And that's it. There it is.
They should have looked up reviews. I don't feel too bad for them. Like they should have just looked up reviews.
What if it's just kids and grandmas buying the physical cartridge?
Well, they learn a valuable lesson.
Well, what if you buy it on sale as well is another thing. That happens pretty often. You go on the eShop or the Steam store and you go, oh, that thing's 20% off? I should get it. I'll try it. And there's probably plenty of people who go, oh, I've never played the Arkham games and it's on sale. I'll get it on the Switch.
I think it's super ethically like scummy of the developer to release or the publisher to release the game in that state, obviously.
Yeah.
And I do think it's scummy for Nintendo to also allow that on their platform. But I mean, that's the video game industry. It's
actually shocking to me that like for as archaic and if you want to say traditional Nintendo is, the stuff they allow on the App Store, where it genuinely just looks like 2012 iPhone App Store where everybody was developing.
Oh, it's so much worse than that.
Yeah.
5,000 Sudoku ripoffs that all look awful and just spam you with ads and whatnot. The Nintendo ads
never used to be like that
now.
What? No, the eShop has always been like that. What are you talking about?
Not before the Switch. I remember like the Wii U died because it didn't have that kind of support like beyond Nintendo games. I thought
they had standards too. Like okay, Nintendo kind of traditional, so like it should be polished, family friendly stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at an asset flip like waifu simulator. You go, what the fuck? Why is this?
Kaya's 100% right. Nintendo was one of the integral parts of reversing the old game crash of the 80s. 80s, yeah. When low budget shit shelved games like E.T. and all of those terrible Atari games flooded the market and literally crashed the game market. And Nintendo was one of the companies that reversed it because they introduced. Do you remember the Nintendo Gold Seal of Quality? That was literally their way. It was made as a marketing thing to say, "Hey, our games don't suck. We don't allow trash on our console." That was the whole reason they did that.
Worth it.
Yeah, and now they don't do that at all. One of the games you can buy on Switch, I always bring up this reference, I think it's still in there, is if you go on the eShop right now, you can buy a calculator for $12 for your Switch.
That's pretty good value.
That's all it is. There's nothing else to it. It's a calculator.
Yeah, but you try to go buying a fucking T34 calculator or whatever the
No, it's not a scientific graphing calculator, Jackson. It's a calculator. It's $12. It's in the eShop right now.
What if you don't own a mobile phone? Mobile phones are like at least $400.
Yeah, and if you don't have a computer either.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
Yeah, if you live in the woods or something and you really need to do math.
And all you have is your Switch.
Yeah, I can see it.
That should be a show with Bear Grylls where he has to survive with a Switch.
Yeah. Oh man, I hope we're heading for a game crash. We're probably not. Realistically, we're very much not with how the industry has grown. But we need it. We really do.
It was so good. I remember like the best games you could buy back in the day were like the PlayStation Platinum Hits or the what was the Xbox one? Greatest Hits.
Greatest
like
Hits.
With the covers with those icons and shit on them. I love that. That doesn't happen anymore. That needs to happen.
No,
we need those back.
There's always nostalgia jacking off for older people. Like, oh, when I grew up, TV was the best. Cartoons were better when I was a kid. All that stuff. I firmly do believe it's not. I firmly do believe it's not nostalgia. We grew up in the golden age of gaming, like the late 90s to the probably very early 2010s, a little before then, just peak. It's never been better.
Oh, fuck off. I was just in Fortnite just before we started the podcast and I was fighting Peter Griffin as Master Chief. You can go fuck yourself. There's no other way that would have happened in any other world.
On that, allegedly, I don't know if this is 100% correct, but you can grind the battle pass to get Peter. He's the end of the battle pass, or you can pay $70 to get Peter.
Great.
$70
I
to
think people
unlock
get
him
mad at
immediately.
That's the value of 7 calculators for Peter. It's worth it.
$70 to play as Peter Griffin. Someone out there did that, not ironically.
But a lot of people
I think
did.
it's fair to be a little butthurt when somebody says, well, back in my day, things were better, because you just feel like they're basically telling you about a party that you were late to. It's like, yeah, I know it was better. Just shut up.
What's the benefit? Great. Times were great back then. Good for you, you prick. Like, I hated that shit when I was growing up, and like my
Damn,
fucking
Jackson,
parents were
okay.
like, "Well, is that no? Seriously, like, did you guys not hate it when your grandparents would talk about the golden days or whatever? How good life back then was? Just kind of like roll your eyes at them, like whatever."
No, I didn't know what it meant. Now that I understand it, now I get angry, because it's like, yeah, on a single man's salary, I could buy a home. It's like,
Yes,
fuck
that's
you,
where I was going
prick.
with that. When I say the golden age of gaming, I mean the industry, not necessarily the specific games. That's personal taste. But I think the industry and what you got for your dollar
100%.
was way, way better. And it just felt way more positive and less exploitative.
Legitimately, that was everything, and not just video
True.
games.
That
Kaya
is-
just
that is
mentioned
true.
housing.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the exact figure is right now, but like, in order to own a home, it used to be you could own a home off of like a $60K a year salary or something, like a decade ago or maybe 2 decades ago. I can't remember. But now I think it was $150K annual salary is what you need to be a homeowner in most places.
Yeah, and people
it's
don't like
fucking
hearing that, man.
crazy.
It sucks to have that rubbed in your face, which is why, you know, back in my day, that gets a bad rep. People generally tend to get a little annoyed with you when you flex about how much nicer stuff was. And Jackson, when you get older, you're going to be telling, you know, the 10-year-olds, yeah, you know, back in my day, I didn't have to give 90% of my salary to taxes, just 50.
No, I'm gonna have the foresight not to do that. I don't want people rolling their eyes at me. I'm gonna be like, I wish I was in your age. I wish I was younger. My bones hurt. I'll be a sad old man.
I'm doing a goofy thing on some 1950s educational films, and I'm watching one about home ownership. It's literally called like Home Life in the 50s or something, and it just talks about the time and like, oh, here's how I live my life, and here's my daughter Jane, and blah blah. And literally the narrator, this is not a joke, this is not a parody, this is from the 50s. He goes, this is my wife. Her job is clipping coupons and finding the best bargains at the supermarket. And he just talks about how she's a stay-at-home mom, and her entire career path is to just find the best deals in town and buy food and things for the house. And yeah, that's obviously the culture at the time, but what it also shows is they could live a successful, happy life on a one-person salary, on one man's paycheck. He'd go to the factory, work, come home, and be able to pay for the food, the house, the kids' expenses, all of it. And it was fine. It worked totally fine. That is unfucking heard of now. If you have a marriage, both people need a job for the most part. That is the standard. That hasn't been a thing for a very long time to live an affordable life.
What happened? What changed? Because we have a lot of land still. Like, there's places to build.
Yeah.
What changed?
Inflation.
More people, man. More people.
Yeah, inflation, more
You got
people.
inflation.
Yeah.
It's not more people, we're declining. I mean, it's increasing, but whenever people bitch about how people don't have enough kids, like Elon Musk, whenever he says that, it's, yeah, we would all like that, but also most people just can't afford it. I read some statistics a while back that like most young girls, Zoomers even, actually really, really want kids. And a lot of them want more than one kid. It just, how? Right? Because both of you are working and you are in a tiny apartment. It's not financially viable.
Well,
even
I
have
also
kids.
still think I think it's a stupid argument that we need more and more people. Like, that's really dumb. Like, there's only so many people that can comfortably live here, like on the planet itself. Like, especially now with the rise of AI going to be replacing so many jobs over the next couple decades. Like, what the fuck are all the people going to be doing? They're not going to be able to like do anything. It's a nonsensical point. I'll never understand the population decline. Fuck as much as you can, quick.
To tackle on to what Charlie's saying as well, because I do agree that the population is a big problem. From 1960 to today, the world grew in population by 4 billion. Now, keep in mind, the world population is currently about 8 billion. Half of the amount of people alive today have come in the last, 80 years? We're growing too fast. We're growing way too fast, is the problem.
I mean, not in developed countries, though.
Are we in population recession in developed countries now? Are we at that point?
I don't know.
Because I know China and India are only growing. They're the two biggest countries on Earth.
Well, I said we are below replacement level, which is fine. The issue is, I mean, whatever. This is getting boring.
Yeah, no, it is.
I mean, I was going to say that eventually the way the system works, everybody's paying into Social Security and there's not going to be enough people to even keep the system going at this rate, but it's like getting boring.
What we need to do, we'll make it not boring. We need a Thanos snap. We need a Kingsman secret society to kill the common man. It'd be exciting and fun, and let's just do it. Fuck it. We'll have a Hunger Game. We'll have a Battle Royale. It's a good idea. It's too many people.
I
think they're already doing that.
Someone Thanos snapped half the universe?
Thanos is already doing that.
No, but I really do think one of the most realistic movies, I think, is was it Elysium with Matt Damon?
Where they make the civilization outside of Earth.
The one where like all the rich elites live in some outer space station, and then back on Earth it's all a big slum. Remember?
And they have like a surgery robot that can literally bring you back to life.
Eventually, maybe, I don't know, but I think this will happen where like the people who can afford it are gonna live in these little hubs where they're just left alone by the slum people who cannot afford anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's already a thing on a microscopic level. It's called rich, affluent neighborhoods.
It's also kind of happening to a degree. I mean, look at Elon Musk and other billionaires where they're throwing money at space exploration, which is a good thing. Yeah, but think if they dedicated that money to other actual programs for people here, Yeah,
but I don't like that argument at all. It's like, okay, you guys remember when, was it the WHO or some organization tweeted at Elon saying, $6 billion for whatever he spent it on, that could have cured world hunger?
No, it couldn't.
Like, you know how little money
that's 100% wrong.
Right. Every single government on Earth makes that times like 6,000. Why are you hassling this one guy to cure world hunger if it takes that little fucking money? That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's always annoying.
It's a very stupid claim.
You could cure my hunger.
But I don't think the sentiment's totally unfounded though, because he's not going to cure world hunger single-handedly, no. But how many billions was spent or is dedicated to the SpaceX stuff? And it's like, what if, I don't know, what if things were different? That's all I'm saying. What if things were different?
Yeah,
I don't see. I've got the Reddit 2014 take when people loved Elon Musk. I don't like Elon Musk. I hate Elon Musk. But like, I agree that we should try to focus some element of our like research and development on getting the fuck off this planet.
Me too.
It shouldn't be our graveyard eventually.
Like, why are we?
We need to flee.
Why is he getting? Of all the things that somebody could be pissing away money on, space exploration and becoming a multiplanetary species. Okay, yeah, that's fair. You can continue doing that. I would click on that in a, simulation game to develop this technology. Sounds good. Yeah. Compared to like, what the fuck? Where is he supposed to take his money else? Everybody wants to tax him, but then what? To the FBI, the CIA, which already has like a $50 billion black budget. So they could cure world hunger 10 times over every year. And that's just off the books. But what are we talking about? I get it, and I'm getting angry again because this is...
Yeah, you're getting angry. You're getting mad. Take it out of the AI later on us.
Breathe. Breathe. Think about Fitbod. Use ExpressVPN.
Yandere therapist.
Is this a communist take or something? I don't know. But I don't think we should have billionaires. I really don't. I don't think we should have people with more money than $1 billion. That money should be.
The only thing I have to comment on that is we should never have people with capital in the billions. But when you own, for example, a multi-billion-dollar company, I can see how it happens. That's the only thing I have to say on that.
I would rather not give it to the government, which sucks at everything. At least this guy's like, okay, like, why are we actually getting mad at this specific billionaire who is researching what, rockets and electric cars? That's your issue? When there's like a bunch of other billionaires who do nothing but just have fucking pedophile sex parties? Yeah.
Who's the really evil dude who's the Mexican billionaire and he's basically just exploited the whole country's phone lines? Am I thinking of that correctly?
Is he like the telco guy?
It might have been.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name.
I heard this a while ago. There's some Spanish billionaire who makes all of his money just exploiting the whole country, and he just does it over and over again, just makes tons of money.
I mean, that's probably most.
I'll have to look into it.
Are
that's
exploiting
like most
their
phone companies.
Yeah. Most phone
it
companies.
It just irks
general,
me when people pick the one example of a guy actually like doing something useful for our species, and like.
It's
all
not
the
their
people,
fault. Elon is so unlikable. He's so unlikable, man.
Who gives a shit? I know he's a fucking weirdo, but like this, really, the guy who's like funding the company making rockets. We're not talking about Epstein or whatever, or some fucking Disney mogul. This guy, or they go after Jeff Bezos, the guy who just delivers shit to your door the next day. Cares?
Just to clarify though, you do hate Elon as well.
Yeah, I remember getting shit from Reddit when I used to hate him.
Yeah, that's what I was
not
thinking
used to,
you
but I remember people.
You were an originator, yeah.
I found a screenshot recently that I took of Reddit, probably to bitch about them at some point in our private chat. I put it in there a couple of weeks ago, and it was something like Elon Musk is single-handedly taking us into the space age. Or something along those lines. And I was like, damn, what a fucking 180. All because he paid lip service to free speech and said that Democrats are cringe sometimes. Who gives a shit? He was always unlikable. He was always like this. Fucking douchebag. Who cares?
It wasn't just because of that. He's done a lot over the last few years to just tank his public reception.
Was Elon Musk born wealthy? Did he?
Yeah, kind of. You do a disservice to his efforts to fuck over his public perception with just saying he just did these two things.
No, nobody hates him for the right reasons. I hate him for the right reasons, okay? He's a creep with women, apparently. He just has a bunch of random children with random women, to the point I think there was a story where he like convinced the random hot secretary of his to have his like IVF baby, where he just inseminated her just to spread a seed. That is fucking weird. Sexually molesting a woman and then offering her a pony in exchange for her silence. That's why you should hate a guy. Him, workers in the Tesla factories getting mistreated. That's a reason to hate him. He posted a meme on Twitter and said Biden sucks is not a reason.
Wait, what the fuck? I looked up the thing you mentioned, Kyle. Wait, how is this not a bigger deal? So he had twins with one of his top executives. Like, I can't read the whole story because it's making me pay. Is this what you're talking about?
It might be. Elon Musk, I don't know if you guys heard, but Elon, he's genuinely like a Genghis Khan LARPer. He just impregnates women.
Wait, how is this not a bigger deal? This is one of his employees that he convinced to have twins through IVF.
See, okay, perfect example of what I mean. You've never even heard of this, but what have you heard of?
No.
Elon Musk is a Nazi.
Yeah, what have you heard?
Well,
what have you heard, Charlie?
memes.
Huh? Why do you hate him? Let's
that's why they hate him. And
theory here.
He's so fucking cringe, and I think like for example, the Las Vegas tunnel he made is the stupidest fucking idea ever.
And it
Like,
doesn't work either.
The tunnel.
Yeah, I think he's an actual fucking cringe lord idiot.
Yeah,
who got very lucky with his wealth.
Kai actually was just proven right. That's what you like know to hate him for, which is a hateable reason. Don't get me wrong. It is
a hateable reason.
Actually,
but this
there's actual full.
How is this not criminal? How is this not like a charge?
Okay, there's good reasons to dislike this guy, but all you're saying, spaceman bad, like pre-programmed. Oh, fuck him. He's worse than Adolf Hitler. What? Do you know what he did now?
Yeah, I had no idea, but I knew about the
you
pony
guys remember?
one. That one I remember. But this one is crazy.
I remember when
you
guys remember when a bunch of like Malaysian children or something got trapped in a cave and he just started calling a guy a pedophile.
That was trying to save them. Yeah.
Why did he call him a pedophile? Because he wanted to, like, the guy wanted to get to the kids to save them, so he just immediately thought pedophile.
I remember for the most part. So basically, Elon Musk wanted to be superhero. He wanted to be the big guy on the block. So he said, "I'm going to send over our experimental children rescuing submarine or whatever to get to the cave." And the Navy SEAL who was trying to save him's like, "It probably really won't work." And he's like, "Pedophile." You're a pedophile.
Well, yeah, I know the story. I know how it went down. I'm asking why he went to pedophile. Was it like some kind of evidence?
Because he threw a temper tantrum that his
genuinely
son
got
wasn't
mad.
rescuing the kids. He wanted to be the hero. He wanted to be the big guy, and when he was told not to,
he actually did the angry person on the internet thing, where people will just like say the meanest.
Nazi.
What's the most fucked up thing I can accuse you of? Oh, you rape babies.
You Nazi.
Because the guy didn't like the dumb
Same
idea
shit.
for mini submarines.
So what I think compounds all of this and what comes from this, I found a great quote from his dad, Elon Musk. I wanted to know if he grew up wealthy. I didn't know. And according to his father, we had so much money we couldn't even close our safe. And he had to hire two people, one to push it in while the other closed it. So that's cool.
Why would you brag about that?
What this is probably compounded by is Elon has had money and the ability to just, who the fuck cares, through life his entire life. And now that he has to be the big boy adult running the ship, he doesn't know how to do it. So he just says and does stupid shit like that.
No, he's just got main character syndrome. That's it.
Yeah, because he grew up rich.
Yeah.
That's what gives it to you. He grew up without real
I
problems.
do think he knows how to run
100%.
stuff, because again, we talked about this before, but I do not believe that you can get that rich just by sheer luck and stumbling into it. Even if you are rich to begin with, like even if I gave any of us $10 million, I don't think any of us could become millionaires. Billionaires.
Oh, we're really bad at this. We can't become millionaires with $10 million. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
that'd be tragic.
Yeah.
I misspoke. But my point remains. I think he's a very successful guy. That's fine. Whatever. I think he has a lot of companies that do a lot of good. Tesla isn't just cars. Everybody keeps making fun of like fake photos of the Cybertruck, which does look stupid, but whatever.
Oh,
it's
God,
a company.
That truck looks fucking awful.
Tesla stock is worth as much as it is, not because of the cars, but it's because of the battery technology that we're going to need more of in the future if we want to be able to store electricity from clean sources. This is why they are breaking ground.
A good argument for that, though, is that Tesla is a successful company not because of Elon.
Right.
It's not Elon who has made it successful. It is a successful company on its own
That's
legs.
what I read.
Elon just happened to get there at the right time.
That's the same thing that I read. I read some reports that said Tesla was bound to hit it big, and it was on the path to do so, and Elon kind of just stepped up as the figurehead.
It's probably like 99% of businessmen.
They're going to say the same thing about Twitter 5 years from now. Because in my opinion, Twitter's on its way to be like $1 trillion company. And they're going to say, oh,
but it was before Elon. It was already on track before Elon. He's done nothing but make it harder with like all the advertisers pulling out because of him.
Charlie, for 10 years, that platform has done nothing. It was the same website for 10 years, doing absolutely nothing, changing nothing. He's currently incorporating AI into it. Again, this take that nothing has changed since he took, or nothing has changed for the better. It has more users, more active users, and he's putting that, what does he call it, Grok? Some AI into it, which is going to revolutionize social media to just have that assistant.
The fuck is Grok? The very first fucking caveman AI? What the fuck?
It's a reference to Stranger in a Strange Land, which is a famous sci-fi novel where I believe the term Grok means to deeply think about something.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But point is, the AI is trained on the social media site that he just bought, which is just free information. So many millions of people putting free thoughts in there to train this thing. I think it's going to take off. And for a whole year now.
Probably will.
It's been over a year. I think February was the anniversary. Everyone's been saying, yeah, the site is going to crash tomorrow. 1 day left.
Yeah, I believe
that's not happening. But you're saying that it's growing and like attributing it to him buying it. It was going to keep growing no matter what as more and more people go online. Like no matter what, if Elon bought it or not, it would still be growing at the same rate. I really think so.
No.
What has he done to bring more users to it?
I mean, first of all, the drama surrounding him.
Yeah.
Yeah. how often did we talk about Twitter of all things on the show?
Yeah.
All
I
the
agree
time,
with that.
even before
Itself, the
Elon, we
company.
did, because that's where all of the big news congregated. Like, it has been that way for a long time now.
No, everybody thought Twitter was a dead platform.
Huh?
Is Twitter used to be thought of as just stagnant and boring and not profitable. It was big.
And it's still not profitable, but it's never been stagnant and boring. Like, people have always flocked
What
to
have
Twitter.
they done though?
For as long as we've been doing this podcast, it's only grown.
I mean, these numbers are out there, right? We can look at the numbers, surely. Just so you guys don't have to keep arguing.
Well, I don't really believe his numbers.
We
They're
could see
not-
the level of growth while Elon didn't own it, and then we could see the level of growth after he owned it and compare those rates to see which one grew faster, I guess, to like settle this debate that you guys are having. But I really don't think it matters ultimately. I don't think this is an important argument.
He has made a lot of changes, and every single time, like every single week now, something on Twitter changes. Like, I improved this or whatever, we removed that or added this, and people lose their fucking minds. How dare you change the name? Who gives a shit? You're still gonna keep using it, you addict. And I do not see how it has been bad for Twitter. The same amount of people use it. Every single person that I saw quitting and going to fucking Mastodon is back. They all came crawling back.
Yeah, and that was always going to happen, but that's because
Yeah.
it was built, like, Elon didn't build Twitter into that successful platform that had people hooked. He bought it when it already had their fangs in them.
Well, yeah, he did buy an addictive product. He basically bought heroin, the drug.
Then isn't it the same thing that like all the issues that have been with Twitter were here before Elon as well?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
My whole
Yes,
point is
and the
that it's
issues
not like
people
Elon
point
has
out-
made Twitter... What?
Sorry, I was gonna say, like, I remember when Twitter was down for like an hour one morning in the last year, and everybody was like, "Oh, Twitter is over, party. Elon fucked it up. He must have stumbled over his own shoelaces and fell into the server. It's never coming back." It's like, that's not how any of this works. You know, he got rid of 80% of the people, and it's still just everything works like clockwork.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
one
good.
thing, I think, okay, I don't like him, but one thing where I will give him credit, and I think this started after he took Twitter over, which is new. I have never seen a social media site where the ads get fact checked underneath. Because now every ad that I see on Twitter has some snooty,
Yes. Oh, God, I
smarmy,
love
like community note underneath it going, "Oh, this is
This is
drop shipping,
dropshipped.
and this product
Yeah,
is
it's
actually
so fucking
busted."
good. All the
For
fucking
that, he deserves credit.
Yeah.
all the
I'll give him
all the
that
Community
people
notes
like
is a good feature.
Yeah, community notes is great. The accounts that like subtly advertise OnlyFans models without directly saying it,
Yes.
shit like that, and then
Getting
there's a
called
note
out.
down below saying, "Yeah."
My
oh,
favorite
man, I
is
love
when
it.
people are on there, let's say they're super political, and they're like, "This is the worst spending deficit in U.S. history," and the community note just says, "No, it's not," and provides a source. I love that. That's so goddamn good.
There's like a community note under every single Joe Biden tweet.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, community notes go so fucking hard.
I
Yeah,
love it,
funny.
especially when it's like really petty. Like if somebody posts a photo of their cat and it's like, "Oh, look at this heckin' doggy," and the community note just goes, "This is a cat."
That's a cat.
And
Yeah, it's
to
just like
the
needless.
Wikipedia page for felines.
Oh god, they're so good.
It's like the most robotic thing possible. The most annoying thing on Twitter at the moment, I ranted about this on my stream yesterday. The fucking every time I make a tweet or post a reply or something, I immediately get like 3 likes or whatever, and I go to check who's liking this tweet immediately, and it's always just fucking OnlyFans, like not OnlyFans, but like porn bots, I guess they are. You know, like the scam bots.
You get 3 likes on your tweets and you're complaining? Wow, Jackson.
I said
Big
3.
fancy man.
Did I say 3 or 300?
You
said
said
3.
3.
You said
That's
3.
a big number. And you're bitching about it? Wow. Unappreciative, Jackson.
It's the bots though. It's they are way more.
I
rampant
wish
now.
3
It's
bots liked my
extremely annoying.
posts. That'd be amazing.
I just hate, and they fucking always reply
Mhm.
and stuff. It's so annoying.
The one that I
them.
hate the most that's very related to that, and I think Charlie can relate, is on YouTube there are now bots that post like compliments and they immediately view bot themselves to get votes, and then the thread
That's been rampant for a minute. Though.
yeah, that's been creeping up real bad lately. So basically what they do is a bot will post a generic compliment. So you release a video and it'll go, "He never disappoints us with his content," or "I always look forward to all of your uploads." And
those
think
are bots?
Yes, because you think it's genuine, and then they get view-botted likes. So they get like immediately 30 likes, 50 likes, because then the replies to that comment say, "By the way, if you want to invest in crypto, check out this channel." And it's super scummy. They try real good to hide it. I'm sorry, Jackson. You had to learn someday. Yeah. Jackson, I don't know how to tell you this.
No, they really do hate me.
Yeah, it's just awful.
I don't know. He was floating this idea for, every account should cost $1 in these certain countries. Like, didn't he want to make Twitter like $1 a year in India or something? Recently, a couple of months ago, he was floating this
I
idea.
have no idea.
Don't recall.
He's said a lot of things very frequently, so it's very hard to keep track.
But I mean, most bots, people think bots are just like OnlyFans advertising, but a lot of it, I think, is stuff that flies under the radar, where like movie companies hire bot farms that go, "Oh yeah, I saw Marvel's super amazing movie, bruh," skull emoji.
I think half the people you communicate with on Twitter aren't real, like actually a person anymore.
There are leaked documents from companies hired by Universal and Sony and all of them, and they're people, either people who it's their job or scripts, and all they do is go on Twitter, 4chan, Reddit, and just stealthily, their whole job is to stealthily drum up hype and go, "Oh, that's a good movie, but it really reminded me of this one, and that one was really good too." Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What's with the fart comments on YouTube? I notice a lot of botted comments saying like my farts are better than Charlie's or something. Is that a?
It's just a meme.
You just read that in the chat, yeah. That's just
I read that in chat, but I've definitely seen it on your videos.
Yeah, well, because that's one of the big botted ones.
Yeah,
that's on everything. You could probably find it on Andrew's.
Yeah, it's
too.
been on mine as well. Yeah.
It's so fucking dumb. Yeah, why?
I don't know.
Because it gets them attention.
What is it advertising?
If you follow the chain, it gets them attention. Like people might see that and then click the channel name, and then there's an advertisement for something, shit like that.
Yeah, that's annoying.
We're in an attention war. That's what the Netflix memo said with Fortnite, where they said Fortnite's their biggest competitor because they steal attention. That's where we're at.
Out of all four of us, who do you think has the best farts?
Probably you.
You reckon?
Not Kaya. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Ooh,
with all those hospital constipation stories and all the things you talk about eating, Kaya, you're like dead last.
Yeah.
No. What? Okay, that was one time my butthole was plugged, but other than that, it should tell you my tummy is fucked up a lot.
Yeah. I don't want to smell
that's
that.
the point, right?
Which means gas.
Yeah. If your stomach is fucked up a lot, then you don't want to smell that.
And when Jackson farts, he giggles. That's a known character trait of Jackson's. It means they smell good.
I blush.
Yeah. You go tee-hee.
Oh, did you mean nice farts?
Yeah.
Yeah, whose farts
most
smell the
Whose
best?
farts smell the best? Jackson, 100%.
No, yeah, whose
Kaya dead
farts do you
last.
want to smell?
That's not a contest you want to win. Who cares about them smelling good?
What? Of course it is. It would be such a cool
you
party
want
trick.
people's eyes to water.
No, it's a cool party trick. Like, hey, smell this, and then you fucking rip a nasty big fart, but then it actually smells good.
If Jackson was here and he went, "Yo, Andrew, check this out," and he farted, and I go, raspberries, I would be at first I'd be kind of like, ooh, but then I'd be like, that was cool.
You'd be like, wait a second, do it again.
Yeah, okay.
And then I shit myself. The shit doesn't smell good.
No, if I fart in your face, I want you to convulse. Because that's what a man does. Farts should not smell
and that's
like
why
roses.
you're dead last. There you go.
Yeah, you don't want to spread love and cheer and joy. You want to spread pain.
Farts.
Kaya's farts are aggressive. Jackson's are wholesome.
Spirit, Kaya.
What?
Jeez, my cat's going insane. All right, let's wrap.
Yeah, we got to wrap. I got to go.
Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out, and thank you everyone at home for listening. Patreon.com/theofficialpodcast for bonus episodes, bonus content. Red Thread's coming out later this week. Next episode of Red Thread coming out later this week, and Criminally Stupid. Most recent episode's up already. You can go check it out. We got links below. Charlie, did you want to shout out? I saw you premiered your D&D stuff. Do you want to shout that out?
Yeah, the skill check, our D&D campaign is now fully online. Episode 2 is this Wednesday at 8.
Awesome. It's just on your Twitch and YouTube, right?
Yeah, well, there's a separate channel for it too, just called Skill Check Show. That's for like the full thing and a couple other stuff we're doing.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, my cat's trying to jump over my monitor. All right, yeah, you go check that out. Links below, and thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.